everybody, and welcome back to Girl Talk with me and Hannah.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. I can't believe it, we're finally in double figures. Yeah. And today we're going to be dissecting Barbie, not literally, and talking about all the controversy surrounding the movie and all your opinions and reactions to crazy tweets that we've seen and all the opinions that we got sent in and our own opinions. We have seen the film, so there may be some spoilers. We cannot guarantee it. So if you haven't seen the movie already and you're planning to see it, please go and see it first. Otherwise, you're going to end up shouting at us.
So yeah. Spoilers. Possible.
Yes, possible. And we're not too sure, okay? So, yeah, maybe go and see it first.
Yes.
But make sure you grab yourselves a cup of tea, and you are not going to want to miss this. A lot of bits online and tweets online, mainly from angry men. But Hannah's going to read you some.
Oh, yeah, these are just...
And then we're going to react to them together.
Living for these.
Honestly,
so funny.
It's literally, it's brought me so much happiness.
I'm strong with my favourite here.
Okay.
They won't be happy until we're all gay.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. No one wants you to be gay.
No one said that.
No one needs you to be gay. I don't know where that's even come from. There wasn't even a gay scene or a gay bit in the film.
It's a Barbie film.
It's the film about women.
Women. You don't need to go and watch it.
No.
It's not going to make you gay.
Do you know what? They didn't even have to include Ken. I'm just going to put that out there. He didn't even need to be in the film.
No.
He didn't even need to be included. It could have been all about women, and then men still would have got the hump and still said,
"Where's Ken?
Oh, we're not even in the film. Oh my God." Do you know what I mean? It's not even about you. Not everything's about you. The world does not revolve around you.
No, and you don't need to be gay.
You can be, but you don't have to be.
You don't have to be. It's an alienating, dangerous, and perverse film.
One, how's it alienating? Because every single person in the film is included.
Right.
Literally every single person. There was even a fake dog. Do you know what I mean? Like there was literally everyone you can think of was in that film. I didn't see anyone left out.
No.
It was really inclusive as well. Perverse. Not really sure how, because literally the dolls even say they don't have genitalia.
Yep.
It's not perverse
at all
in any way.
No.
There wasn't any like sex scenes.
No.
There wasn't any even kissing.
No,
I don't think.
There was no kissing. No. She stands there, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, because he says, "Can I come to your house?" And she's like, "To do what?" Like, and he's like, "I don't know."
And just does this.
Yeah.
And she's like, "The feminist agenda will kill us all."
Will it now? Will it now?
Will it?
Okay. Don't see how. I don't see how, because I feel like feminism is kind of protective of the whole world.
Yeah. Because
it's not saying, I think a lot of people take what feminism is wrong, that it's like men against women or women against everyone else. It's like, no, it's just literally a nice way of thinking that isn't misogynistic and isn't bad.
And we're supporting each other. A pink acid trip that feels like being slapped by lots of confusingly attractive people. How are they confusingly attractive?
Confusingly attractive as well doesn't even make sense.
It's because they're talking about Ken.
Yeah, and they're talking about Margot, I think, as well, because they're never going to get with her. So that's why they're angry.
Yeah.
It's just like they're so confused.
They're attracted to Ken, and then they're like, "I'm confusingly attracted to these people that aren't people because they're actually Barbies."
Yeah, they're meant to be like looking plastic. They're meant to be like ripped and like amazing looking,
you know, like
because they're dolls.
They're dolls.
It's called Barbie because they're all meant to be stereotypical Barbie.
The movie literally had an empowering message towards men as well. Barbie literally told Ken that he doesn't need all that power to be Ken. Just be Ken. You don't need a woman.
And it starts off like everyone's so annoyed about the way that it's like being rude to men and all this and making them seem silly, making them seem stupid. But it starts off and it's like the narrator says, Ken can't get on with his day and Ken doesn't feel good unless Barbie speaks to him. And then as the film goes on, he realises, actually, I don't need that. I don't need that reassurance because I am Ken. I'm myself and I'm good enough. And I'm this and I'm that. Do you know what I mean? And he builds himself up. He doesn't need his friends and he doesn't need her. He just needs himself, and he wants to like change things. So he gets like a different coat and like his own style, and he changed his house, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all that kind of thing. It's not bad against men at all. I don't understand.
It's not. It's
irritating.
Learning to be yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody else to be yourself.
No.
Kind of feminism that has dominated the internet and sparked some less than hollow conversations. It's ensuring that many, many men get into deep conversations about how shite the film is, because it's like about a doll and it portrays men in a poor light. And it's just not fair.
Yeah, I think it's weird though how, like, and obviously I'll be reading like your opinions that got sent in and everything, and there's such a mix, but it's weird how people are kind of viewing it as like men, women. It's like no, like there was never that.
No, it's
never been that, and the whole film is like so inclusive, so like equal, because everybody was just there together. I really don't understand it. It's actually annoying. It's actually quite annoying, because I just don't get what you're angry at. Like, who are you angry at? Like what? Do you know what I mean? Like Barbie is a doll, yeah?
Yep.
4 girls. She's literally made 4 little girls, yeah? And she's grown up, and this is a film about that.
Yeah.
It's not for men. It's not targeted at men, so it was never going to be about you, and it's never going to be for you. But they included Ken, and they included it to be nice and to show the progressive journey of Ken as a man, and then to show how bad the world is, because they in Barbie Land did not know that the world was like that. They thought every girl gets what they want, and every girl, like, you know, when she was walking past and she was like, oh, construction workers, like they'll make me feel better, and it was just all weird men.
Yeah.
Because she thinks, oh, but Barbie Land, it's all great women,
great,
and everyone's like really lovely and like really uplifting and really nice, and it's like, yeah, that's not the real world, because it is man dominated, and it still is today. Like things still aren't equal.
No.
I'm sorry, like if you think it is, then you're wrong, and you need to wake up, because it's not. You know, that's not, the real world is not like that.
No.
It's crazy.
I wish we lived in the Barbie world, because it was just so nice.
I know. I wish I did. I definitely belong there. I literally look like a Barbie, and I dress all pink. So I definitely fit in.
Caused absolute carnage, and it's caused huge rifts, arguments on the internet, mainly between men and women.
I think it needed to be honest. Because, and I'm going to compare it to this, it's not really comparative, but it is in my head, because the reaction and how much it's blown up around, like, I hate saying it because obviously it's not really to do with that, but Sarah Everard with the walking home and the not all men and all this, and it all blew up because men were getting so angry because they weren't out of the spotlight, and they were like all portrayed, even though they weren't, all portrayed and feeling attacked because we were saying that some men were doing these things, and a lot of, or all women were having the same things that they had to do, like with walking home and needing protection, needing to walk with your keys in your hand. You have to wear trainers so you can run. You have to do this, have to do that, have this. You have to basically change the way you live in case a man attacks you, rather than educating men to not attack.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same as this. It's like, oh, but girls should do this because men are going to get annoyed. No, how about you just don't get annoyed? How about you educate yourselves? You get a book, you sit down, you read about feminism, you read about women, you read about patriarchy and all these things, and you think, oh, how can I help my friends who are women? I've got a mum, I've got a sister, I've got a girlfriend, I've got a nan, I've got, do you know what I mean? All these women in your life. Do you do your best? Do you educate yourself? Like, do you help them? Like, do you do anything like that? Because I tell you what, it's hard being a woman. It's not a privilege. It's actually hard. And that's what the film is saying, and it's portraying. Everyone sees something different when they watch these like controversial things. But wow, my God, the amount of men that have just felt attacked and they've felt singled out.
They cannot relate
No.
to what these women are going through, because they're just obviously uneducated or blind to the whole thing. They're just like,
or they're part of the problem.
Yeah, they've got to be, haven't they? Because if you don't get that this is the real world, this is what happens,
It is.
You just gotta accept it, not get angry, take ownership of it,
and not get defensive as well. Like, oh well, it's like, it's not an attack on you. The whole film was great. The whole film was amazing. Got lost on some people.
I think
I
that's what it
genuinely
is.
believe it's got lost on some people, and they need to take a deeper look into themselves and think, wow, like, am I the problem?
Or maybe go and watch it again with that open mind of, okay, can I view this differently?
Yeah.
And maybe figure out what it's trying to say before you pick out one aspect and freak out.
Because it's not all about you. Because at the end of the day, the film is Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have to include anything to do with men. It genuinely didn't. And yet it did. And it helped men in like the process of the film. And it showed all of these things. And it had a lot of messages in it. And you clearly have kind of missed a lot. So about the film then, what are we thinking? I thought it was bloody brilliant, obviously. This isn't even the section about my opinion, but I'm just going to put it in there. I thought it was amazing.
I bloody loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. It was a really, really good film.
Yeah.
So if you follow us on TikTok or on Instagram, you'll see that we went to the film and I was wearing pink because I was told
You didn't so well.
we're going to see the film. You got to wear pink. So I was like, okay. Felt like an alien, but apart from that, it was a really good film.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And if you haven't seen it yet, then obviously let us just kind of set the scene a little bit. So obviously the controversy, I think personally, is like men kind of feeling attacked and kind of feeling like it's a separation against men and women, but it's not.
It's really not.
It's really not. Like, and all like the things about the politics side of it and everything like that, I didn't really see any politics.
There was no politics.
I don't think there was any about like the feminine and the masculine aspects of all of us, because it was such an inclusive film, honestly. Like, there was obviously a lot of like different sexes, different races, different sexualities, all brought together, disabilities,
which is nice to see.
Honestly, it was brilliant, and you couldn't tell obviously who was straight, who was gay, who was whatever. Do you know what I mean? It was just everyone was together, and it was such a feel-good film, and it brought to light a lot of things like fragile masculinity, like obviously inclusivity, equality as well, the patriarchy, like obviously everything like that. But it got brought together in such a nice, fun way.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like shoved down your throat or anything. And there was obviously jokes. There was a lot to do with mental health as well, which I really appreciated. Like, a lot touched on that.
There was even a swear word.
I know.
I couldn't believe it.
It bleeped.
It did.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. It's definitely not a children's film.
No.
So if you have got children, you're thinking of taking them, I wouldn't.
They'd lose interest in the first maybe half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, it's a lot of like adult content in the sense of like the jokes and talking about death. There was a lot of mention of death.
There was a lot of death.
I personally think it should be a 15, not a 12, because I think it goes over kids' heads. If I was 12, I wouldn't want to watch that, because I wouldn't understand any of it. To be honest, it'd be one of those things that you watch when you're older and you're like, oh, I get that now. Your thoughts about the actual film were?
Really well done.
Yeah.
Well cast.
Yeah, very well cast.
Yeah, no, I think just overall it's been really well done, and it's getting a lot in the box office. So I mean, that's definitely being translated.
And woman writer.
Yeah, and a woman writer.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was
I'm
brilliant.
pretty sure she's trans as well. I feel
really?
sure. Yeah,
oh, wow,
sure
that's
she's
awesome.
trans. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe anyway. Yeah. And I think, it's just like the message it gives to like young girls as well. And I think, and I hope a lot of men, obviously I know a lot of men didn't like it, but a lot of men that watch it will kind of see things from a woman's perspective. Like, they might think, oh, this film, it's like so attacking men, blah, blah, blah. It really isn't. It's just celebrating women. And if you feel attacked for celebrating women, I think that says a lot about you. I don't think that's a very good way to have an outlook on life and things like that. Like, it is a feminist film because it's about women. It's for women. It's
Barbie.
Yeah, it's called Barbie. It's not called
not
Ken.
Yeah.
And they did kind of make Ken look a bit silly. But I mean, he went on his own little journey, didn't he? Really? He went on his little healing journey. And I liked the fact of the song as well. So yeah, this is kind of spoiler, but the song as well, where he like said, you know, I am Ken, like blah blah, and he did the little dance thing. I thought that was really sweet as well, because it's like, it's just showing men, it's a kindness. It's showing men that you can be who you are, and you don't have to be like this big macho masculine man to be a man. You can just be yourself, and you can wear what you want, you can do what you want, say what you want, as long as you're kind. You don't have to be like this big, you know, like burly man. Like, it's just like, be who you are and do what you want. And I think that's nice. And it's really definitely not an attack against men at all.
No, I think it was overall really positive film.
Yeah, the creator, so Ruth, was obviously in it, and then she explains like, and she talks about her daughter and like their lives, and like why she created Barbie, and obviously like the scene of like, and she said that obviously she wants to go to the real world and she wants to become like the girl and everything. And I thought it was so special, and everything she said in that moment was so special, with the song. Like, it's just, I know a lot of people, like, it touched a lot of people, and like the message of it all,
thought-provoking, and it was very emotional.
I thought it was really like such a powerful film. Like, it really was. I just want to go and watch it all again, with like, knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that makes sense, because you pick new things out and you see things in a different way. Because obviously I was like, oh, like mesmerised, because everything was obviously pink.
She was literally sat like this.
Yeah, the whole
that
time
whole
with this
film,
old lady next to me, and I was just like
breathe,
so happy. Like, honestly, it was brilliant. Like, it was honestly brilliant. I'm really proud of us, because we didn't cry. I really thought we would, especially me, but we didn't. And the fact that her daughter's called Barbara, and that's why it's Barbie, and like the whole message behind it, and it being like a feminist thing, and like, you know, and all the discontinued Barbies, I thought that was amazing.
It was very funny.
I thought it was amazing because it had all the different aspects, and like almost like a timeline of Barbie, like, and where they might have gone wrong, like in the past, and where like they've changed things, and like different things. And obviously Allan as well was like a highlight for me. Loved Allan, and I don't even think we really like properly noticed so much in the film. I think after, maybe when we thought about it, but what he represents in the film is obviously a straight man, or I'm assuming a straight man, who is like supporting women and helping women, and he is like standing with women. And I think that's so special, and that's so nice, and you definitely need people like that. And obviously we have people like that in our life, that, you know, there's no misogyny there, there's no like, oh, I'm better than you, or there's nothing like that. It's just they're standing with you, they're supporting you, and very for like women's rights. They're feminist, you know, they're just happy in their own skin. There's no like toxicity, there's no rivalry. There shouldn't be anyway, but some people there is like that, and you don't even notice it at first. And I think
she's like the male cheerleader.
Yeah, it doesn't make you any less of a man to support a woman and not just see her as like a sex symbol, and like, do you know what I mean? That kind of view them in that way. It's like, it's very weird. Yeah, I find it very weird. These are ones that I got sent in, so it's quite a mixed bag. Some are men, some are women. I'm not going to say who's who. You just have to just guess, I guess. 12 out of 10 art. Completely agree. Yeah, literally chef's kiss. Yes, I agree. I thought this was a really good one. It's like wonderful meta exploration of feminism and fragile masculinity, and then in brackets, with proper fit men and women.
With proper fit men and women.
They were. They were all stunning, beautiful people, and the whole film was just incredible. And I do like that as well. Like, it's definitely really good exploring fragile masculinity and feminism, and also, like I said, like the aspects of like masculine and femme, like in different people as well. Like, we all have feminine and masculine energy in us to lead with. So some people like more masculine in their energy, nothing to do with gender. Some are more feminine in their energy, nothing to do with gender. And it's nice because you saw throughout the film like different people and their different aspects of what energy they're using at that point. Yeah. So like, I thought that was really nice as well. I thought that was a really good touch. Needed more men hating, didn't go strong enough.
There wasn't any hate.
No.
There was no hate.
I'm sorry, but like, no. I know who this was and I love you. But I don't agree, because it wasn't to do with hating men at all.
No.
There was nothing to do that was hating men. And I think this is where people are watching it. I don't know where they're really getting it from. I'm really confused. I know a lot of people that weren't happy with how Ken was portrayed. So he was portrayed as a little bit simple, maybe a little bit simple-minded, a little bit stupid.
I think he was.
But that was
you
the
know,
whole point, so that you could see his growth through the film. In my opinion, that was the whole like character development kind of thing. And then he realizes, I don't need to be like this, because it was almost like he was chauvinistic at the beginning. He was like, okay, you know, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But then by the end, he's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, you don't, you know, I don't have to do that, and you don't have to do that, and I don't have to need your attention and all this validation.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the film. There was no man hating.
It was growth, learning to love yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
It's self-love, and obviously, yeah, not needing to be like toxic masculine and like bravado, and like it's getting rid of that. And I think that's love. Right. Didn't like that Barbie still had to heal Ken at the end. Defeats the point. I don't think she did. I think they kind of healed each other throughout the film without really realizing it.
Word it in a certain way, because he was getting there on his own.
Yeah.
I think it was.
She was just there for him. Like,
being
she was just
supportive
there
friend.
for him.
I'm
Yeah.
not in love
And
with Ken.
and he had to then process that. And I don't think she healed him in any way, because you can't really heal someone. You can only really heal yourself. So it's almost like, I don't think she did heal him, to be honest.
No, I think she just helped with the tools.
Yeah.
To, like, that support.
For him to build himself up. She looks fabulous. Obviously, we agree. We're not blind, you know. We do agree. Even though they could have cast me. Very rude that they didn't. This one, hated it. Like the first hard, then it went way overboard and gave me a headache. I mean,
I feel like a man wrote this.
Yes.
Am I right?
You are. Ding, 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 ding. I haven't watched it. It's one of my friends that does film reviews on here, and I haven't watched this video yet, because I just know it's going to bother me, and I'm like, I just don't know. I need to be mentally prepared so I don't have an argument, basically. But yeah, fair enough. Entitled to your opinion.
I get that at the halfway point, when things start to change.
I really was like, I was still mesmerised the whole entire film, but when Ken started doing his dance and he had his furry coat on, and it got a bit like, and I was like, oh no, like, what is going on? And we both looked at each other and we were like, huh? I was so confused, but it was still brilliant.
Yeah.
But I get it now. Like, when you've watched the whole thing all the way through with the same enthusiasm, I think. Because if you've lost enthusiasm, you're going to think it's silly. Because I was thinking, oh God, is it becoming like a musical? It got a bit like, we were like, we were both looking at each other like, huh? But like, it was still brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think, if you don't love Barbie, then you're not going to love this film. Like, literally, I was so excited. Like, I bought the merch. I was like buzzing. So I think if you're a man and you don't really care, you're not really going to get the whole experience of it.
I think when you get to the halfway point and things start to change and like everything flips, I think maybe that gave him a headache, because he's starting to see what men are doing.
Yeah.
I think that's where he was like, what's going on?
Because if you don't get it, because you're not a woman, you don't get it.
Yeah.
And like, that's where men should really pay more attention, the halfway point, because, you know, Ken goes back and he's like, he messes everything up. And then she comes back and she's like, oh my God, like, what have you done? Like, you know, and that is life.
That is life.
That literally is like how it is for us.
Yeah.
And it's a hard pill to swallow, but we have to do it every day. So I think you can do it for 2 hours.
Right.
I think
it's,
soz, but I think,
that's some truth there.
Yeah.
That's some truth.
I think it's true. I genuinely sobbed and couldn't stop. It was honestly such a great film. Yes, again, we agree. We love it. Our opinions, which we have kind of said mostly through the video anyway.
A little dusting.
Yeah, but I think I loved every aspect of the film, like the whole entire film. There wasn't anything that I didn't like. The only part where I was a bit like, was when they started doing the singing and stuff, because I'm not a massive fan of musicals, so I was a little bit like, oh no, is this going to go this way?
No.
But it was brilliant, and I thought obviously it was really inclusive. It celebrated like feminism in a great way. It also touched a bit on fragile masculinity and inequality, which I thought was brilliant, and making women and men feel seen, like both of them, and men to be seen in their masculine and their feminine, which I thought was really nice because it complemented it really well, I think, because it shows that you can be both and you can do both, and there's no right or wrong. Like, and some people do like project a bit more from one and then the other. Do you know what I mean? And I think that was really good. And obviously the message throughout of like women being seen and heard, I thought that was brilliant. Obviously the speech with the mum was like incredible.
That was so
like
good,
that
guys.
was so moving.
It was so powerful.
Yeah, it was moving and it was amazing. Struggles that women face every single day and that we still face now. Like things have changed for the better, but not enough, like nowhere near enough. And I think it's 2023 and we're still having these arguments over a film.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a film.
Deep that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Creator being in the film as well, I thought that was really special. I thought that was a really nice touch. And like talking about how they made Barbie, and I thought it was really moving, the scene where she's in the building and they go and find her, and I was like, oh my god, who is this? Because I thought it was her in the future or something first. Yeah. And then I was like, oh okay, yeah. I thought that was brilliant.
How in the film at the beginning the mum and the daughter are sort of disconnected in their relationship, and as you go on they start to reconnect
through Barbie and through
and I think the whole thing and being you know, being like pro women, like we can do this, we've got to support each other. And
they had to help to come together and help each other to like to save everything and everyone. And I thought that was brilliant. And I thought it was really nice where they had to sort of all the women come together. I think a lot of people as well are going to see that as like coming together against the men, but it wasn't. It was just to make an equal world and to make things happen and like show that they need each other. Do you know what I mean? Like they need each other. Like everyone needs their mum, but also men need women and women need men.
And it's the little girl's, well, she's not little, she's a teenager. Her first opinion of Barbie, you've ruined everything. You've made it really hard for us, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, she's like, actually, that's not what this was. So there's that, I think, realization and that switch of actually, that's not really what you were going for.
Yeah. And almost like growing up.
But I thought, there could be a bit more of John Cena as a mermaid.
Yeah.
I was like, my man, with his long hair, I was like, there should have been more John Cena in that film because that's so funny.
I thought it was brilliant, honestly. I thought it was brilliant. And I think as well, like going back to like the men's opinions and the negativity and all of this situation, how many films have you seen in your life where women are seen as bored housewives or objects or, you know, just like so many negative things. And we never say anything and we've never said anything and it never gets our backs up. We never get offended. But like nearly every film that you watch, it's got an aspect of that in it. And then there was one film that was about women, for girls all around the world, and they have got annoyed about one film,
whereas most films absolutely put us as that stereotype.
It's on a pedestal or
glass ceiling.
It's like boring mum or boring housewife or, you know, do you know what I mean? It's never like hardly ever celebrating women. And I think
I can't get that promotion and be the top of the chain. You know, it's always a man, isn't it? Like it's every film.
And that's what I liked in Barbie as well, that Will Ferrell was obviously the highest like CEO, and he had this pink tie on and a pink shirt on, and he was like making jokes, but it was very like
I do this for the little girls.
He still represented, even though it's not like in a maybe a great way, because obviously he had to have his mind changed, but he was still like pro women in a way. Do you know what I mean? It was still like seen. And I think that was nice. And it shows like the world kind of changing, maybe like the higher ups changing. And being like where he was like, oh, but we have got like one woman, you remember that one? And, you know, like things like that. Because it just shows, you know, it's on the way, I think. And I think that was really nice.
There is progress.
The symbolism as well of like her being put back in the box. And I think that is literally like so sad.
Back in your box.
But that is life. That is life for us.
It's like saying to the women, get back in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Do you not think?
Yeah.
And I was like,
and just in general though, like get back in the box, as in like you've done enough
your
now.
lane.
Yeah, you've done enough now. Like you can't do that.
We can be seen and not heard. Stay in where you know.
Yeah.
Be
or
there.
Like if you're a mum, be a mum, or if you're a CEO, be a CEO, or if you're a hairdresser, be a hairdresser. Do you know what I mean? Like you can be multifaceted. You can have opinions. You can be amazing at every single thing you do. And then also I love the scene as well with obviously Margot, and she's crying and she's like, I don't feel good enough, like I don't feel like pretty enough and all this, and then obviously the mum goes into that big thing. But I just thought that's so special. Like that's something that no one can ever take out of the brain now. Do you know what I mean? Like you have that now, and that's, I hope a lot of people see that and it makes them think and reflect upon things that they've said or done before.
I hope all the teenage girls that go and watch this film have a moment when they're watching that and come out thinking, I am good enough.
Yeah.
I am good enough. You know, at the end, it's all happy at the end. Like it does work out.
Yeah.
And the way that the mum's speech and everything about everyone being good enough, I really hope that's helped some teenage girls that didn't feel that they were worth it, you know?
And I hope like men watching that as well, if they went with their girlfriends as well, or dads maybe got dragged with their wives or daughters or whatever, I hope that they watch that and they think, wow, like is that really how you feel? You know what I mean? And how can I do things to make it better for you in your life? Or how can I bring my little girls up better, or, you know, to support them more and things like that. Like I really hope it touches people in that way, because that would be good. You know what I mean? That would be good.
Start to changing the world overall.
And to also then helping to teach your sons and your like teenage boys and things like how to treat women as well. In conclusion then, we just loved it. I think. Absolutely loved it. 1,000,000 out of 10. We'll go and see it.
Definitely we'll go and watch it again in comfy clothes this time.
Yeah, not in pink, out of the comfort zone. Yeah. I will obviously be wearing pink because I love pink. But yeah, definitely, I think if you haven't seen it, go and see it. Go and see it unopinionated. Go and see it with fresh eyes and just think, wow, you know, I'm just going to go see it, see how I think. Don't let other opinions impact you.
I feel like reading everything up on the internet, you're going to be swayed by these opinions, but just try and go in fresh. Just go in fresh and then see what you think of it. Oppenheimer. Yeah. Oppenheimer. I want to see that too.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll wear black then for that one. Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll dress up for you. Who knows? Yeah. But yeah, leave all your comments down below as well. Let me know your opinions. Good or bad, we don't mind. We don't get offended as always. It's whatever. And yeah, we will see you very, very soon for another video. Let me know your suggestions as well. Obviously, go follow us on TikTok down below. Follow us on Instagrams down below.
Like, share, subscribe, all those good things.
Tell your friends, make them all subscribe. But yeah, we will see you very, very soon. Take care. Love you.
Bye. Bye.